I found this CD the other day, Surfing with the Alien by Joe Satriani. I was obsessed with this album as a young guitarist. There's a little crack on the case there. Sorry, Joe. Bit of water damage, actually. Guess the alien's not so good at surfing after all. It must have fallen off. But yeah, there's a track on it called Circles, and I think it might be my favourite track on the album. Make sure you stick around till the end of the video because I'm going to show you how I play that intro and kind of deep dive into some of the techniques that'll help you clean up your playing. The reason I was looking through my old CD collection is because a company called CoolGeek reached out to me. Remember that video I made a couple of months ago, Real is coming back? Turns out I was right. Because they said, can we send you a CD player? And I said, yeah, you can. This is the CoolGeek M1 music frame, and it's one of them things that just makes you want to play your music again. It doesn't have a built-in speaker, it actually connects to your setup via Bluetooth or auxiliary. But the whole point is this, it's completely transparent. You can actually see the CD spinning, all the mechanics working. And that's something we've weirdly lost. CDs just disappear into a tray. All the magic is hidden. It runs off a single rechargeable battery and it has a clean little LED display. You've literally got your power, pairing buttons, that's it. You could either have it on your desk with the stand, or you can mount it on the wall like a piece of art, which I think is class. I'm actually building out a picture wall here, and I think it's going to look really cool spinning around in the background of all the videos. And honestly, anything that nudges people towards physical music, owning it, properly supporting artists again, I'm all for it. If you want to get one of these, I'll put a link in the top corner and in the description down below, and use this discount code to get 10% off. If you're enjoying this video, one of the best ways you can support this channel is to hit like, subscribe, that stupid little bell next to it. You'll be alerted the next time that we do this. And then you can leave a comment down below. You can call me a fat little tit if you want, but I'll probably block you. All right? Consider that your first and final warning. Anything else you want to write, acceptable. But yeah, do that because I've said so. I actually remember being in my guitar lesson and my teacher was like, right, we're doing circles today. We must have been in between doing grades, and I also think I had a ticket booked to see Satriani Vi and Robert Fripp do G3 at Manchester Apollo. But yeah, I remember struggling with the string skipping, the palm muting, the vast amount of shapes that move around in a small space, very short amount of time, sliding up and down, you know, trying to play with some aggression, but clarity and control. And I like to think that my teacher was showing me that for the same reasons that I'm going to show it to you today. First thing I want to do is show you all the different shapes. The first four go like this. So we start with a power chord shape, 9 on the D, 11 on the G. I use index pinky because it allows me to mute easier in the middle. Then we've got 10 and 9, A and G. Slide that back a tone, put the third finger on the 9 on the A, so then you've got 9 and 7. And another power chord shape, 7 and 9, A and D. Next shapes go like this. So from that 7th fret power chord, put the middle finger on the 8 on the low E, index finger on the 7 on the D. Stretch the pinky up to the 10 on the D, essentially going from a C major 6 to the octave. And if you slide that back a semitone, put that index finger on the B, it makes it easier in my opinion with all the mutes. You take that C octave to a B octave, and then slide that back again, whole tone, so that your pinky is on the 7th fret of the D, and then just put your index on the 5 on the A. Gives you the D power chord. Brush that again. Just let the root note, the index finger, go up from the 5 to the 10, 9, 7. Form an E power chord, 7, 9, 9. Brush right across the whole thing. If you just played those shapes now, you've got the riff, right? Now to play this well with clarity, you need to pay attention to the fretting hand and all the string muting. Let me walk you through each shape and kind of talk about what's going on. So that first shape, I'm playing it index pinky. I pick it like that, it's nice and clean. But you'll notice if I strum it, it's also nice and clean, and that's because the other surrounding 4 strings are all muted. The underside of these 4 fingers are touching the E and the B, and there's multiple points of contact there resulting in that open string being completely dead. If you string mute with just one finger, there's a chance you could get harmonics, but if you put another finger on that string, even though you're holding one of the fingers over the harmonic, kills it dead. So multiple fingers touching the strings is your friend. Now the lower strings, I'm using these 2 spare fingers to kind of drape over the top, and they're touching the E and the A, and also my thumb is also slightly curving over and touching that low E as well. You might think, well, doesn't that stop these 2 notes in the middle? No, because they're being pushed down with index and pinky, meaning they're lower, so I can kind of afford to drape over. And that honestly is just such a good lesson in like tidying up your playing and your fucking bedroom. I was in there last night. It's a disgrace, mate. 2 hours cleaning tomorrow, and then get back to me. Now that second shape, again, the exact same concept. We're just moving the fingers around. So look, there's the 2 individual notes. There's me strumming all the strings. The E and the B are muted. That D in the middle is muted. It has a little bit of a harmonic ring. And then that low E is thumb and actually the tip of this middle finger that's fretting. And again, look, when they both touch, you go from to that. As you pass through, you don't notice any of those little harmonic sounds. Moving it back, very simple to understand how to mute all those strings. If you've just come from here, just a little bit of a rejig, and then index pinky doing that power chord, you can take everything you learned from that first one and just move it here. Look. These are just draping over now and hitting the low E. You don't need the thumb as much then. So now we've got this major 6. we're familiar with that shape because we just did that on the above strings. Here with this this octave, underside of the pinky, underside of the index finger are muting the E and the B. The underside of these fingers are catching the A. And yeah, it just allows you to brush across, keep things tidy. A straightforward octave shape there, index pinky. I tend to play all my octave shapes like that because, again, muting is priority. The first time I probably did it was like Hendrix, right? So I was like, how can I play that aggressively and keep it tidy? So the underside of the index finger is like draped across here because I only need to fret the low E. That's doing most of the work. Pinky goes on the octave. If I take that off, look, the underside of the pinky is also muting top strings, and then the underside of the index finger is muting the A. So you combine them together, and you can strum with a lot of clarity. The power chord on the D, it's pretty straightforward. We've already played power chord on the E. So you just bring that down a tone, all the same techniques apply. And this is the first time we've kind of played open. So you want to do away with all that, get some arch back in your fingers and open up the guitar. Now, think about why this will be useful for you. I'll give you an example that you know very well straight away. If I was to play Custard Pie, and I do this bit, right? I can dig into all those chords like Jimmy does, play with aggression, make your power chords sound less like this. And make them sound more like this. So it can push your guitar into its shouty chest voice, and you're retaining that musicality, that clarity. The last thing to talk about is the low open E, palm muted hits kind of popping in between the chords. Sometimes it's the C, obviously, because we have that chord shape change down here. But you can afford to be less accurate because you're muting stuff, right? But you should still aim for the right strings because it'll sound better. And you're going to be hitting things mostly on a down, and you've got to string skip and kind of bounce around. So give it a little go like this. When it comes round to that E power chord at the end, I tend to kind of hit up, down on that E, and then a downstroke on the chord. It's just what I like to do. I'm going to play you the next bit of the track slow, so you can see what I'm doing. If you want the tab for it, or backing track I made, you can get that on my Patreon. The bulk of the lesson is in that first bit, and that's the bit I want you to focus on if you're new to this kind of thing first. But this part is beautiful. You could downpick everything. I just got into a habit of alternate picking it because it makes some of the higher notes easy. You go back to the main riff. Do that twice and then right at the end, you can end with a big E power chord strum. And that's it. So I've tabbed out the intro the way that I play it, and I put that little drum backing track on my Patreon. So if you want to deep dive some of the other sections and play along, you can grab that over there. And yeah, I like a song or part of a song that doubles up as a technique deep dive, because this taught me how to play with clarity, and that kind of snowballed and bled into lots of other riffs and songs that I play today. And I think if you struggle with some of those shapes and techniques in this, have a go at trying to master it and then see if you notice any improvement in other things that you like to play. Hope you enjoyed this video. Catch you in the next one.